Okay, so my name is Carly Jackson, and I'm so excited to be talking with you guys about sexual assault awareness. So, let's start. So, it's a warm Sunday afternoon, and you and your friend decide that you want to go to Lake Nickel. On the way there, you talk about how you've been wanting to go cliff diving. You've seen people do it. It looks like a fun time. So your friend's like, yeah, let's do it. Being supportive, I'm going to do it with you. We're going to have a great time. So you get there. You see that brand new sign that says, cliff divers will be prosecuted. You then get to the cliff and you peek over and you say, maybe this isn't a good idea. Your friends, they're like, no, we can still do it. It's not a big deal. Let's do it. And you're like, not my style. Unfortunately, I don't think your friends are listening to you. He pushes you off the cliff. Luckily, you land in the water. It's not that bad. I mean, you get a little bruising from falling from such a high distance, but other than that, it's not a big deal. So your friend, so you talk to your friend, and you're like, dude, that wasn't cool. Why would you do that? Why would you push me off the cliff when I told you I didn't want to do it anymore? And your friend's like, but you said you wanted to do it. I was just helping you. So this little audience interaction. Raise your hand if you think it's okay for the friend to have pushed you off the cliff. Okay? Not seeing any hands. Great sign. No one's murdered. Right, second scenario. So, you and your friend are going to a party. You are like, you're expecting to get there, have a couple drinks, nothing too serious. And so you get there and you look around and it's not really your scene. You're like, this is kind of sketch. But you're like, I just got here, I want to give this a fair chance. About an hour later, you're ready to leave, and your friend's like, no, dude, just stay. It's not that big of a deal. Just drink some more, it'll get better. But you know that drinking more isn't going to make it better. And you're like, okay, I'm going to walk home. And then your friend's like, no, you said you'd come here with me. You said that, no, we're supposed to walk home together. You just can't leave me here. It's not fair. And so, because, you're feeling the pressure, you're feeling the heat, you're like, all right, I'll stay. And you do drink more, even though you know that you have a quiz at 8 a.m. the next morning. And you shouldn't do that. So, 8 a.m. rolls around, you're hungover and conked out in your bed. You see your friend later in the day, and you're like, dude, that wasn't cool. Why did you pressure me to stay somewhere that I didn't want to be? And your friend's like, what are you talking about? That wasn't me. You chose to stay. I didn't make you do anything. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. It's just one quiz. It happens all the time. So then you start second-guessing yourself. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. It does kind of happen all the time. Maybe this is my fault. Oh. Wrong button. So, what do these scenarios have to do with sexual assault? In the first scenario, you were forcibly forced into an action, even though it was something that you weren't interested in doing. Yes, you did say yes the first time, but you changed your mind. If that scenario had actually had something to do with, had a sexual nature to it, or you're forced into something sexual, that's actually the definition of rape. The second scenario is not as cut and dry. So your friend coerced you to doing something that you didn't want to do, which in some states could also be considered sexual assault or rape. And oftentimes people, regardless of gender, are coerced into doing things or guilted into doing things of a sexual nature. And they're like, no, but you said this and that and this and that, but it's okay to change your mind. In short, if it's not an enthusiastic yes, then it's not truly consensual. So, why is this relevant to us? I'm aware that sexual assault is a very sensitive topic and is not something that people our age generally talk about. But this is a big problem because 80% of victims are under the age of 30. Now, I salute everybody who decided to come back to university later in life. Good for you. I couldn't do it. But most of us are under 30. And so this is an issue that is affecting us daily. Also, 1 out of 6 American women are victims of sexual assault. So if we took that and applied it to this room, so if we said this room holds about 200 people and 120 of them are women, and we applied this statistic, that means that 20 people in this room have been victims of sexual assault. So a victim could be closer than you think, and I think that's pretty scary. So, defining sexual assault. You guys can read the slides, but so in some states do not verify a difference between sexual assault and rape, but according to the U.S. Department and the ones that do see a difference between it, sexual assault is pretty much any kind of sexual contact that does not lead to penetration, while rape is penetration, no matter how slight, to a victim that didn't, well, to a person that did not consent to it. So I think a really good point to hit now is that both are equally wrong. Sometimes people want to downplay things that don't, or sexual acts that don't lead to what they call completed rape. But the issue is that no matter what happens, if you do something to a person and they don't want it, if you tread upon another person's rights, that's an issue and that's a problem. No matter how slight or how small, it's an issue. So, why is it such a big deal? It's a big deal because no one's making it a big deal. 68% of sexual assaults are not reported to the police. Now, there's a variety of reasons, why that's occurring. It's kind of, so most of the time sexual assault victims do not feel very supported by their community or by the people around them, and they feel ashamed. Or, like in our second scenario, they start second guessing the things that happen to them because they feel guilty or like maybe they did it to themselves. Also, 98% of rapists will never spend a day in prison, which is a pretty discouraging, statistic. I mean, why would I step out and, let somebody know about what happened to me if no one's going to do anything about it? Now, I know that sounds like I'm going in the opposite direction, but I want to tell you guys a personal story that hopefully gives a little hope, especially to University of Alabama students. So, I have a friend named Sarah. Her name's not really Sarah, it's changed. And one day I was talking to Sarah and I asked her, "Hey Sarah, how was your weekend?" And she was like, "It's okay, just some things happened, but it wasn't a big deal." And I'm like, "What are you talking about, some things happened? Like, what did you guys do?" And she was being very coy and nonchalant about it, but eventually she told me that she had gone out with her friends. Her friends decided to drink. She did not, and at the end of the night, she went home, and everybody went home, except one of her friends, John Doe. John Doe said, "Hey, Sarah, I'm really drunk, and I really appreciate if you just let me sleep on your couch." And because Sarah's not evil, she's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And so John Doe goes to sleep on the couch, and Sarah goes to sleep in her bedroom. Sometime during the course of the night, John Doe is not on the couch, he's in Sarah's bedroom, and he's touching Sarah in a sexual way that she did not like. So when I was hearing the story, I was feeling a lot of things. I was feeling shocked, I was feeling hurt, I was feeling upset, I was overwhelmed by a lot of emotions, but something that was very clear to me was that this isn't about me. This isn't about me, this isn't about John Doe, this is about Sarah. And no matter what I feel or what I think or what I want to judge on that situation, I need to ask Sarah, what does she want to do? So I did. I said, "Sarah, what do you want to do?" She said, "Carly, it's just not that big a deal. I don't want to ruin his life. I don't want to make a big deal about this." And although I wanted to crush John Doe into the ground, because this was not the first time John Doe had overstepped boundaries with her or other women, I was like, that's fine, because it's not about me, it's about Sarah. And so I said, "All right, that's fine. I'm not concerned with John Doe, Sarah. I'm worried about you. So how about we look out and try to find some resources to help you?" Long story short, we were able to get Sarah a session at the Counseling Center and the Women's and Gender Resource Center, which is also an option. And she was able to press charges upon the university level against John Doe. And I'm aware that a lot of people don't know about university sanctions and how they work, but when someone does, if any physical force is taken against you, you can press charges to the university and not press charges to the police department. And so Sarah's actions led to John Doe getting kicked out of all of his organizations. And he also had a physical no contact order. So like if they had to register for the same class, he was not allowed in that class. He can't be in the same building as Sarah. Like she has a no contact order against him. And if he breaks those rules at all, he's going to get charges pressed against him. And so I just kind of want to take this time to tell you guys why this means so much to me. For a while after that story happened with Sarah, I thought to myself, I was just like, what would have happened if I didn't ask Sarah how her weekend went? What would have happened if I just let her just go and say, oh, it's not a big deal? It was a big deal. It was really affecting her. She couldn't be alone. She couldn't sleep alone. She couldn't do anything alone. It was really messing up her life. And that's just not acceptable. That's just, I don't want to live in a world or try to sleep at night in a place where people aren't getting help when they need it. And so her story just is really the motivation behind all of this, is what I wanted to say. And so what can you do? So if your friend is, or if a friend of yours or somebody you know has been a victim of sexual assault and they're trying to tell you about it, like I said, you should not judge and just listen. It's not a problem that you yourself can fix unless you're a certified counselor or somebody that is involved in that aspect of university. And then after that, you should try to connect the victim to the right resources, such as the Women and Genders Resource Center. This is an old picture, but I wanted to have them reflected in the counseling center, and their numbers are below if you want to take down that contact information. And I think an important thing to point out is that if the person so chooses, anything that's discussed at the Women's Resource Center or the counseling center is confidential, and it will remain confidential, and they will not force the victim into doing anything, whether that's pressing charges on the university level or on through the police, unless there is a danger to the person or the perpetrator or anybody else on UA's campus. So if you or anybody you know that has been a victim of sexual assault and maybe doesn't want to press charges, they'll still listen to you. It's more about your health. So, if you're truly passionate about creating change on campus in regards to sexual assault, I have started a club called UA Social Health Organization. Our goal is to create awareness campaigns about issues plaguing the University of Alabama's campus. Our first topic is sexual assault awareness, and hopefully we can get a campaign run in fall 2015 to educate others about this issue and let them know the resources available to them. And so, if you're interested in that, you can email me at uasocialhealthboard@gmail.com. And so, to conclude, I just want to say that, it's our responsibility to raise our voice and speak out against sexual assault. It's up to us to create the conversation and crush the social stigma and create an environment that has a zero tolerance policy for sexual assault. It's up to us to speak out for those who don't feel supported enough to speak for themselves. Thank you.